Alright, here is the glove box wiring harness. The one at the top is the original, and that's how I was able to match it up to this wiring harness that wasn't in a bag. Not quite sure why, but there you go. And it shows the connections exactly the same. So for once, it should just fit in. Let me go and do that right now. Well, it turns out that contact adhesive is no fucking good for sticking rubber. And I'm sure some of you out there are going, oh yeah, we all knew that, Gary. Well, I didn't. I gave it a go. It didn't work. So now, and I've still got to clean this up, I have used proper 3M adhesive, and I'll show you that tube in a second. I've glued it in the middle. It says wait for it to go tacky. It doesn't give you a time, which is really rather annoying, so you kind of have to guess a bit. But anyway, I've stuck the middle now, and my plan is to somehow glue the ends and pull it into the corners. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. I really don't. I've got to figure out something that maybe, you know, do the top corner first and then the bottom corner and stretch it, because this Chinesium crap isn't big enough. Yeah. And now they fucking fly balloons over us and our pathetic president won't even shoot the fucking things down. What a dickhead. Oh, you just gathered I'm not a Bidum fan. So that's where we are with this particular part. Next we're going to go on to some other things, and don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I'll show you the adhesive I'm using. I have just cleaned up these threads here and the ones over there, ready for the center console. I've pushed this back a bit, and my plan now is to, you know, hold this up in the air and perform miracles and bolt the center console in position, ready for doing shit. Again, I'm not sure what all these wires are meant to do, why this doesn't I've got a feeling, actually, as I'm saying this, that maybe because there's a light here on the, or is there? I do wish I had a bigger shot, because I could have everything laid out. But on the top of the dash, I think there's a light here-ish, and that could be what these wires are for. But purple and green, not sure if purple and green is correct. However, so the next phase for me is now to hold this up here. And I'm not quite sure why those two brackets are on there. I think maybe my brother got carried away and didn't check that I've already got the two brackets, unless there's 4 brackets required on the center console. And let me show you that. You see, I already have the 2 brackets on here. Now there is a 3rd bracket that goes there, and I'm going to have it's broken. It got broked off, so I'm going to have to clean this up. I've got this piece of pipe which fits over there rather nicely, but I need to put a thread in here. So not sure yet how I'm going to do that. I may just weld a nut on the top there. It doesn't have to be a specific height, but I will try and keep it the same height as the rest of them. So I just got to get a nut on there and weld it. That'll be a fun welding job. Geesh. Maybe I should JB weld it rather than try and weld it. We'll see. We'll think about that one. So anyway, I've already got the brackets on here. Now we can start bolting shit up, as promised. This is the glue I'm using, black weather adhesive strip. Black weather adhesive strip. Shall we try that again, Gary? Black weather strip adhesive. I got stripping on the mind. Gosh, I haven't seen a stripper for a long time. So this is what I'm using on that front seal. I will also use it on the other seal at the front. Let me show you which. This one here. Now that will, well, it doesn't go on here. It gets glued into the body of the car. I'm just putting it here to get it familiar with how it's going to be. You know, it kind of I like to get the rubbers how they should be-ish. There was something else I was going to show you, wasn't there? And if my brain cell would work, as he walks back to the bench hoping that things will engage and he can say yes, and that was it. This here. Hang on, let me put the light on in case that's too dark. I need to shorten these bolts. These are the ones that are going to be holding this in. Do I have to? No, probably not, but I'm going to. And I cut them off, and let me show you. I've got one here that I've cut off. There it is, cut off. And you put a nut on, then cut it off here, and then when you wind the nut off, it clears the thread so that it goes on nice and easy. I'm sure lots of you know how to do that, but I just thought I'd mention it for those of you that have never done it, never thought about it, or don't give a shit. Okay. This is wet, so I can't do the clean up yet, but I will do on the nut at the top. I may well leave the goo at the bottom there because it adds strength to the connection. So I didn't want to weld it for obvious reasons. One, it's copper, well, copper coated, and two, that would destroy everything and I'd take it all apart and blah 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 blah. I wished I'd realized earlier that this was missing or broken, but I didn't. So I've remade it, and it will hold one of these clips, and that will be perfect. Just got to let it set overnight. Then we can start putting it in and connecting shit to it. Well, I have made a decision, an executive decision. I'm going to modify this and this one that they sent me. Probably on this I'm going to have to cut it there and there. But I've also noticed that it's crooked. So I'm probably going to have to cut this whole thing off and then re-weld it all, because I don't want that at an angle. It should be level. Why they put it at an angle, I can only assume is because of the automatic box, tunnel, whatever. However, it's of no fucking use to me as it is. And they have been extremely unhelpful. Gearbox, fine, sent me a gearbox, but then promised things and never delivered. So I'm going to be doing a lot of grind, a lot of welding. When I do it, I'll bring it to you and show you how I'm going to do it. Okay, I decided to give it a shot with the old JB weld. Now it may not work, and if it doesn't, then I'll figure something else out. In fact, I've already got a plan in mind. It would involve me welding 2 nuts to this rod. There is enough thread left on the base here for me to screw a nut on, just like that one there. And all I would have to do, of course, would be to weld a nut on either end of this tube and then screw it on there, and it will be fine. We'll see how the JB weld goes. If nothing else, it's a good experiment, and it may or may not work. You will know, because when I start putting this all together, if that little fucking thing snaps off, I'm going to be awfully upset. Anyway, as my JB weld takes, well, I want to say 24 hours to set solidly, I have to keep an eye on this. A couple of times I came over and it had fallen down. It had got the old brewer's droop. But now it's getting pretty set in its ways. And well, I guess I'll go to bed and wake up and see whether or not it stayed upright. If it didn't, then I'm going to have some fun. And if it did, then we'll see how it goes. Right, what is next? Somebody asked me about a hazard flasher on this, and no, it doesn't have it. However, I also wanted to know what to do with the overdrive switch, didn't I? How could I, excuse me, how could I incorporate the overdrive switch to make the flasher unit flash all the bulbs? Sorry, I'm a bit slow talking there because I was trying to think about how the hell I could do that. I'll have to look into that and see if that's possible, because then that could be my hazard warning, couldn't it? Not that I will need it, of course, because my car will never break down. I'm going to say something that puzzles me here. If you can see that, it says November 1964. As far as I'm aware, this car was sold in February 1964. So either that's been swapped, or there's been some time travel, or yeah, I bet that's what it is. This was swapped, wasn't it, at some point? And it could have been me that did it, because I intended to end up with all sorts of different spare parts, shall we say. Yeah, I'll blame me. Oh, as I mentioned, I'm going to attempt a repair on this clock. It may not work. There is a company, and the videos are online on YouTube, and I'll drop a link in to this video. Clocks for Classics. You can buy kits for these clocks to rebuild them. I'm going to take this clock apart, see if I can figure out what's wrong. If not, I'll install the kit that they provide, and hopefully that will fix the clock. It's going to be an interesting one. Look, I just seen something. This corner of this block here, hang on, I'm going to get my right finger in there. Right, that corner there, I think that's going to stop this from coming out. So it means I've got to take the gauge out, which in all honesty isn't that a big deal. It's, you know, those two thumb screw thingies, and I intended to take it out anyway because of all the wires that are behind it, and I needed to figure out where they went. You know, I've obviously got the rev counter wires and then the clock power. So oh dear, never rains but it fucking pours, huh? Jeez. A silly little story. Today I thought, okay, I'm going to get the XK8 washed. I'll shoot down to the car wash. I get down there. Oh, I don't like to just do the car wash, so I'll put some gas in it. So I top up the gas. $4.20 a bloody gallon. Thanks, Joe Biden. Anyway, it didn't ask me like it normally does. Hey, do you want a car wash? Oh, that's odd. So anyway, I go into the shop and I thought, I don't. I do this sometimes. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I don't just want to buy a car wash, you know, that's kind of silly. I'll grab a 6-pack of beer. So I grab a 6-pack of beer while I'm in there. I go up to the counter. Anything else, sir? Yeah, I'd like a car wash, please. Oh, okay, sure. And bear in mind, I've watched people going through the car wash. The guy turns around and says, I'm sorry, sir, the car wash is not working. What do you mean? I just see people go through it. He said, yeah, I know, a sign just came up, said, not working. So I came home and banged my head against a brick wall. All right, that's enough drivel. Get out of the garage, go do some shit, for fuck's sake.